whom you know? Give me 1 second. Good morning, everybody. So, what is Ignite Mind? Mind is a motivational talk session which we bring every Fridays, and it is very exciting when you have your own person doing the Ignite Mind because it finds more of a connection. And look at that, we have 57 people here, just here to hear you, Tushar. Isn't it wonderful? Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
let me just show you the slide once again. And here you go. I have requested everyone to be muted so that we don't have disturbance during the YouTube live. Let's use the reaction button and welcome our speaker for today. He is a gold medal holder during his college days. He's selected profession as professor. He is aspiring to gain PhD in behavioral finance. And I think his subject he teaches is accounts. So it's my honor to invite you to Tushar Soubhari on his topic Adversity Quotient. I'm very happy to invite you and let me spotlight you for everybody. Good morning. You're looking bright and beautiful. Over to you.
Th- Thank you, Naina ma'am. Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. Good morning to all the 5M Club members. It's of great delight to be before you. And thank you so much, 5M, for giving me this opportunity today. And today I'm going to talk to you something very delightful about adversity quotient. You might have seen just now on the screen a plant is growing in a desert. How is it possible? Have you ever imagined about it? Yes. If you think anything is possible, then yes, it could happen. It matters what attitude you have. Everything is possible. So let's get into the topic. I would request Shiba ma'am to share the screen. Yeah. So getting into the topic, the adversity quotient. You might be wondering why I have not given the title page or something. Okay, I would always like to make something different. Okay, so here, coming on to the first slide, that is, we all are now in the midst of this pandemic, COVID pandemic. Okay, we are all shielding ourselves with an umbrella. That umbrella is a faith. That umbrella is the confidence that we need to have. But are we really staying inside the umbrella, or are we trying to displace ourselves from umbrella or run back from the umbrella position? So it is left all to us. Attitude matters a lot. Attitude is everything. And it is through this 5 a.m. club we are able to gain different sense of attitude, gratitude, kindfulness, forgiveness, excitement is a drive, everything we learn through this 5 a.m. platform. So today we are going to learn about what adversity is all about. How can you shield yourself from the different adversity by not running away from it, but how to protect yourself by becoming more and more resilient in coming futures to come. Also, you will be evaluating yourself. There is an evaluation session here. So I would like to request you all to stay tuned from the beginning till the end of this program so that you will be able to evaluate what is your position, what type of personality you are. Are you ready? Come, let's go for the battle. Next slide. So here you can find different people that is feeling that life is like a puzzle. Some people at home, they struggle a lot to stay calm, to stay safe, and take care of their family. So life is really like a puzzle. If you find the world, one person's loss is another person's profit. Or we can find Some people run for win-win situation or win-lose situation. And those who don't have the confidence or faith in themselves, they go to lose-lose situation. So that is what we are finding here. Many people are battling for life in today's pandemic situation. So it is very mandatory for all of us to learn and understand this concept. Next slide. Before I get into this topic, it is very important for me to give credit and acknowledge the works of Professor Dr. Paul G. Stoltz, who has been the contributor for this concept, adversity quotient. So he's an entrepreneur by profession. He runs his own firm in US, and that is called Peak Learning. So I would request you all to take a screenshot of this one, or you can note it for having a glance of what it is all about. He has written 3 books. This concept was brought out in 1987, Adversity Quotient. This book was written particularly in that particular year. Adversity Quotient, turning obstacles into opportunities. So it was focused at workplace. It was focused in general and personal life too. And Adversity Advantage is a recent book which was introduced in 21st century. The below YouTube link is a link which you can go for having a live chat with him for having a glance what the concept is all about. Are you ready? Let's move. Yes, he is none other than Professor Dr. Paul G. Stoltz. He's a founder and CEO of Peak Learning, Inc. And he has got the PhD from University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. Founded Peak Learning in 1987. He wrote the concept of adversity quotient in 1997. He has written various other books. You can note this for your further references. Adversity Quotient at Work in 2000, Adversity Advantage 2007, Put Your Mindset to Work in 2011. It has been co-authored, and recently he has written a book on grit and determination to 2015. Let's go to next slide. Okay, so what is adversity? See, we all have different expectations in life. But let me ask you, are you all getting the things as you expect? It might be. Some people might say, yes, I'm getting it. Some people might say, no, not at all. I'm disappointed with my life and my decisions. Why is it so? Have you ever asked yourself? My dear friends, it is none other than, it's only because of your attitude. It becomes an adversity. Adversity can be a challenge or an opportunity. If you think it's a challenge, you feel it's a pessimistic attitude. If you feel it is an opportunity, it is an optimism. So when things don't go the way you want them, then we call it as adversity. So my dear friends, let me ask you, you all would have got, before 2019, you would have planned to go world tour, or you would have thought to go somewhere else, have different rendezvous, meetings, and different places. So now this is all collapsed. You might be blaming the COVID pandemic. Is it so? Will you blame the COVID pandemic, or will you blame yourself? Will you blame your neighbors, or will you blame the government, or will you blame God for it? It's left to you. I would not like to answer this. You better answer it. So what I would like to say is that adversity is only a definition which we could give for some things which cannot happen according to our expectation. Yes. Next slide. So what is adversity quotient? We know what is adversity, something beyond our control. But what is adversity quotient then? It is just a score. It's a qualitative or a quantitative score which we are using to measure the ability of a person to deal with how difficulty or how much effort he takes to face a change. And that measurement tool is referred here to be adversity quotient. So my dear friends, to put it in a nutshell, it is called a signs of resilience. What do you mean by resilience? Resilience means how well you try to cope up with the situation and become more and more proactive rather than becoming reactive. It's very easy to react with the situation, but it is very difficult to proact with the situation. What is proaction? Proaction is whatever be the situation, accept the challenge, accept the criticism, take it in a positive manner. Yes, I can do it. Nothing is impossible for me. You take it in a positive way and step forward. You might be the first person to step forward and take it as a challenge. Doesn't matter. You know, you don't need a candlelight. You don't need a torch bearer at the back to guide you. You are the single leader who can guide yourself. If you have that readiness to change, the openness to experience the change, then it is very important to understand the concept of adversity quotient. Yes. Next slide, please. Yes, you all might have wondered after hearing this topic, adversity quotient, what it could be. I have heard about IQ, EQ, SQ, and so on. Okay, so to say AQ is something which is related to all the other Qs. IQ, you might be knowing, it's the first intelligence quotient was brought out by Alfred Bent. So you might be aware about that. He and Simon brought together the concept. They co-authored, they co-shielded, and they brought the concept of Bent-Simon test. That was IQ testing. But IQ is not merely important factor for a human being. Merely having IQ does not solve the situation. You need to give importance for EQ. EQ, again, this concept was conceptualized and popularized by Professor Daniel Goleman. Please have a habit of reading the book written by Daniel Goleman on emotional intelligence. It's the capability of an individual to recognize himself, his feelings. IQ just gives importance only for it's actually for the human intelligence. But studies showed that human intelligence is not only enough. We need to give importance for the feelings, emotions, be positive or negative. Such emotions play a vital role in self-decision making. But later, the studies found that merely intelligence, merely having meta emotions, having control over your emotions is not only enough. You should have spiritual intelligence too. You should know who you are. What is spirituality? Spirituality means knowing yourself better. For what? For your self-elevation, for your self-prophecy, for your self-fulfillment, for your self-actualization. So if you want to know yourself, you should know your potentialities, you should know your strength, weakness, opportunity, and your threat. Knowing such things, you would be able to candleize yourself, you will be able to camouflage yourself by paving yourself for the better development. But later, the studies found that not only the IQ, EQ, or SQ is important, AQ is very important. Yes, my dear friends, I might call it as a God, or you might call it as a mother nature, or whatever it is. We are facing the challenge today or an opportunity today. It is just to make you realize that one thing, that we are bound to change. Change is inevitable. We all have been performing our duties since past, but it is time to change ourselves. And Adversity Quotient by Paul Stoltz teaches us how well you can become more resilient to face the change. Next slide. So it's from this triangular pyramid, we can understand that AQ is a global predictor of your success, combining IQ, EQ, and spiritual quotient. Next. Here it's a nutshell where responsiveness to adversity can happen as a product of IQ, EQ, and spiritual quotient. Yes. Now, you might have heard about different adversities. Adversities can be of different types. If you ask Mr. X, he would say, I have a difficulty at home. I feel the environment is not proper for me. Today, we can find the black fungus also coming into role along with COVID pandemic. So if you blame that this is actually a challenge or an adversity, then it could be an environmental one. If you find that genetically, or if you find that you are physically challenged, okay, or if you have mentally challenged, anything like that, some people might call it as an adversity too. So fine, some people might say situation. I have a few friends of mine who says, I want to go to Germany, but I'm unlucky. I don't know what to do. I asked him, what could be the reason you stayed for it? He says, God does not want me to go. My dear friends, to be very frank, God is not the one who takes decisions here. God gives you different opportunities. It's you who decide the challenge as an opportunity. But you must always remember it's your decision making that might click onto your further signing off to your activity. Okay. So I would like to have more of interactive sessions in coming slides. So get ready. Okay. Be on your fingertips. So I told you initially that we are going to assess ourselves based on a particular standardized tool, standardized questionnaire. And that questionnaire has been developed based on these 4 dimensions, factors. Control means resilience. You know about your health. You're giving importance for your how well you're able to have control of the. You are able to have control over yourself. Self-control. The faith factor is decided. Second factor is ownership, accountability. In 5 a.m., we have accountability. What is accountability? Whatever actions you're doing, you just try to reciprocate here. Whatever actions, whatever to-do list you have been doing yesterday, that you must be performing then and there at the same date. And the next day when you report, you might respectively say how much you have completed, how much you are not been able to complete. And we convert in the form of percentage and show the accountability factor, isn't it? That is what we are also showing here. You have the sole ownership for your own actions. So here we decide about the responsibility, actions, and engagement. Reach is how well you are able to reach the society as a whole. Or are you stressed? Stress are of 2 types, eustress and distress. Eustress is positive stress, excitement, anxiety. It's a eustress. Also, distress, fear, anger, greed, all this can be distress too. So this factor is also decided here. Reach, and how well are you able to, are you very anxious about your future, what you would be in future? That decides here. And finally, endurance. Endurance, having the hope. Always we need to keep hope. Excitement is a drive. Why do we feel excitement? Because we find something we are going to invade or capture in our lives. Optimism, the willingness to persevere in future. Am I right? Okay, let's move to next slide. So AQ predicts your performance in motivation, productivity and learning. Empowering yourself and creativity is also stimulated. Greater energy and hope, happiness, vitality and joy, emotional and physical health, improvement over time management can be better properly done. Attitude, longevity, responsiveness to change, and finally persistence and resilience also. My dear friends, let me ask you, are you aware of certain people, international figures? To state a few, how many of you know these people, that they have high IQ? Albert Einstein was one person who was very knowledgeable, who had a high IQ. But AQ is also, if you find the previous studies, it should have shown that IQ is highest in them. But recently the studies were done, and it has been concluded that he was having equally competent to IQ, EQ too. Similarly, Thomas Alva Edison, he had failed at different times, and the 10,001st time he created a bulb. How is it possible? We try twice or thrice, we try to neglect it, then thereby. Why? Because we are disappointed. But if you are disappointed in the 4th time, just imagine how much disappointment would have been suffered by Thomas Alva Edison. So it shows us the eagerness, the openness to change, the high IQ in him, high AQ in him. Richard Branson, he was suffering from dyslexia, but even though he was dropped out from school, you can find that he was ready to change. Similarly, we had Steve Jobs. He was also a person who was actually with, you can find that so many people like that. who were dropped out from school, but later they took it as a challenge and came forward. Bill Gates, he failed in his earlier business ventures, but later he founded Microsoft. How is it possible? Where there is a will, there is a way. Everything attitude matters. Next. Okay, are you all aware of this lady? It's a question to you. You can chat it in, you can put it in the chat box. Are you aware of this lady? Madam Smriti Shri Singh. She's a chef in Odisha. So she was a finalist on MasterChef India. MasterChef India, you would be aware of that. In Star Plus, we find that. So MasterChef India, a competitive cooking reality show. And during this COVID pandemic, this is actually, I'm talking from the Indian perspective. So during this COVID pandemic, she found that she could, she was excelling in this cookery, and she was excelling in this MasterChef India. So she thought, sitting at home, she could do something for the society. She could render some service for the society. And it was her family members who motivated her to go forward, having learned and becoming a famous ideal figure or an ideal personality on TV reality show. She thought she could come forward and start a Desi kitchen. Desi kitchen is, she wants to reach the homely food to every nook and corners, every homes. She started it, and she wanted to start with the Odia cuisine. So Odia cuisine is something she wanted to start from. She wanted to do with she wanted to make her motherly taste. She wants to give tribute to her motherland, and she wants that taste to reach every homes, irrespective of caste, color, creed, sex, religion, language, and so on. So that was a good plan she did, and that was a perfect click. The click and flick method she adopted. Already she is a brand ambassador, whatever, but she created that, her idea. So this you can find, an idea can change your life. An idea can really change your life. See how Smriti's life changed because of her idea. So an idea, so this is what we are learning in Ignite session. And Ignite is something to sparkle, to create a light. Abhay asked in the chat what Ignite session is all about. My dear friend Abhay, I would like to opine you that Ignite session is a motivational talk where somebody comes and lightens your wick, the candle wick, and you are spreading that knowledge to the coming fourth generations. I hope it is very clear to you. Next slide, please. Similarly, we have another lady, Veena Manik. She's from Mumbai, and she had baked the birthday cake. She started her profession as she's actually a good professionist, and she started creating birthday cake for the people, the near and kith ones. And she started in the name Blissful Indulgence Mumbai. That was a concept which she was building up for her baking cakes and so on. So she started with this cake, but later she got different orders. Initially, in the first month of a start, she got 1 to 2 orders in a week, but later it increased to 7 to 9 orders in a single day. So imagine how well you can do. If you are starting, just imagine the situation in your house. Put yourself in Veena Manik's situation. Will you be able to get some orders? Some people might say, yes, I will do it as a challenge. But some people would say, oh my God, I have to go to market. I have to go and get, I don't know how much, it's very demand. Cost of that particular ingredient is very high. How can I go? Like that, you might be giving different blames and lame excuses, isn't it? So it is ridiculous. We can understand. If Veena Manik or Smriti Shri can do, or Priyanka can do, then why can't we do? Ask yourself, my dear friends. Yes. Another example, Priyanka Pani. Priyanka Pani, she also started the same. Why, you might be wondering, men people, being men, you might ask me, sir, why don't you express the view of a man here? Why do you express the view of a woman? My dear friends, to be very frank, the research study shows that women have high adversity quotient compared to men. Even though they are physically, I should not say, please don't mistaken me, even though they might be physically weak or whatever, but they are mentally very strong. They are ready for the change. In a married life, behind every man's success, it is woman's hand. It is true. And that can be literally proved because all these ladies are family women. And Priyanka Pani is one such person who had a very passion for food. And today she has started into a new venture. You can find that she runs My Didi's Kitchen. My Didi is nothing but sister. She shows a sister's profession here. My Didi's Kitchen. And she had started here as a healthy and Indian cuisine, Western cuisine to reach everybody's home. She has started in a more sustainable manner. So don't think that these ladies would be stopping it here after pandemic. No, they would continue, but they took it in the right time. So it depends upon, very importantly, you should see right time, right decision, right at the right place. So it is very important for you all to note it. Are you ready? Now, I'm going to introduce another person who is not much famous, but you must be knowing about him. Let's go to the next slide. He is a child entrepreneur. He's a Bengaluru-based teenager, Anish Garg, 14 years. There are so many children here, and I wanted, because this 5 a.m. is fully filled majority with women and with children, and also equivalent to men too. But I would like all these people to learn lessons from these people's struggle. So Bengaluru-based people, Bengaluru is not somewhere in abroad, it is in India only. So even the neighboring state can do, why can't you then? So Bengaluru-based teenagers, Anish Garg, a ninth standard student, and his classmate, imagine the classmate like Pallavi, her friends, like Shailaja ma'am, mother supporting the child, Pallavi, and Pallavi bringing so many classmates and friends together. See, this is actually a teamwork. This is a synergical impact created here. So if you have that successful venture, similarly here, Hashir Ahmad Sheikh, who they both together launched a company website called virtueadopt.com. And this is actually for virtual adoption of pet animals during lockdown. So you can find many people are at home. They are due to lockdown, they are all work at home. Many people have pets for relieving the stress. They have pets at home in Bangalore. So they did a research that their neighbors and all are having so many pets. And they found that these people are least bothered about the pets because they are very much involved into their work since they are doing work at home. So they want, and this Harsh's father, he was actually a person who was involved in importing and exporting of different exotic species like macaws, then iguanas, and many other species. And what happened is that they found that this, so that was the idea. Because of his father's motivation, this Harshit got an idea, and they took that, that he shared that with Anish, and that spark came in their mind, and they started a new venture. The remarkable thing of this particular venture is that this was not, they did not outsource it to any other IT technicians. This website was designed by themselves. They use their, a 9th standard student can create a website, then why can't we human beings do it? Even they are also having the same eyes and everything, isn't it? That is what's happening here. So we can find that it was self-designed and launched by them only with an investment of 2,000 rupees. My dear friends, it is not crores or lakhs. It's only 2,000. 2,000. So this shows that even if you have a 1 rupee penny, it is enough to start a business. Okay? Okay, right. So I would have ignited something in your mind. Now, this was, till now, I had been discussing about some motivation. But now I'm going to introduce you something about this picture. Can you all, I will give you 2 minutes time. Can you all just type in the chat box, what do you understand from this picture? Or anybody could unmute and speak too. Looking at this picture, what do you understand? You can put it in the chat box too, if you're not able to unmute yourself.
Shall I?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm waiting for your call.
Some people, most of the people, when they see an obstacle, they quit. At the first sight itself, without thinking. But some, they are taking the initiative. But after reaching a distance, they show the tendency to quit. They don't believe they can achieve it. But the strong believers, they will climb the peak. They will climb the mountain. They will climb the Everest. They are the true winners. So we become the climbers. But we grabbers or quitters.
Great, sir. Sunil, sir, thank you so much. Great, you're great. You're right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? I'll sum up later once you all give me an idea. Okay. Kamal sir says you are quitters. Some they stop in between, some they climb up the tree. Okay, you're right. See, I don't want a proper answer. Nobody's perfect in this world. Everything depends upon your perception, your belief system, your samskaras, we call it in Sanskrit. But what I'm saying you here is, you need to, just looking at the picture, a picture speaks 1,000 words. So that is why I don't want to bore you by giving more words. So you please look at the picture. You can give your imagination, be more creative. Creativity is the one important thing that COVID-19 situation has prompted you all to come with new ideas. The higher CQ is created during this COVID pandemic. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to? I want some children to speak. I want some kids to speak. It's your time, dears. Kindly rock. Yes. Okay, I think Abhay could not unmute. So if it would be better if Abhay could be unmuted so that he could speak.
Raise your hand, Abhay. I can't find you.
Sir.
Yes, Abhay. Yes, glad to meet you. Continue.
Yes. And the sir said, but here there is a, here we can see that most people are quitting. And even less people are camping and even less people are climbing.
Okay, very nice. Very good imagination. So, Abhay, can I ask you a question?
Their level, where they reach. When the climbers reach even the most top and the campers reach even below, and the quitters is really below. They even doesn't go to climb. Okay. That's why we have to reach a goal. We have to keep trying. If we quit, we will not reach anywhere. If we try to, after doing some work, if we stop in the middle, we will left behind. So we have to complete a work completely when we start, and do not quit too.
Okay, very nice explanation. I would like to give you a clap. Congrats. Thank you so much, Abhay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, Mahmouda ma'am says you need to achieve your dreams by bending yourself, and goal setting is very important. Yes, everyone is right. So I'll just put in a nutshell. My dear friends, Paul Stoltz, when he wrote a book on adversity quotient at work, he explained the concept with the help of 3 personalities. He explained this concept because he was a sociologist as well as psychologist. So he was able to learn more about the people in society, and he opined that there are three better people in society. So that is, it can be, one can be quitters, one can be campers, and one can be climbers. So everybody look at the picture. We can find four people at the bottom who are called quitters. And the second, if you see, there are only two people sitting there as campers, and out of which only one goes up. So what do you mean from this? It's like 1:2:4. So climbers, out of 10, might be one only would be succeeding. It's in our life too. How many of you, just ask yourself, in your family, how many of them go for military job? Ask yourself. In some cases, we can find that some parents don't leave their children, or there can be some reasons behind it. Out of fear, it can be. Some people proudly say, I want to serve my mother India. So that can, such attitude is climber. They want to serve better for India. Some people are there who might always start. Take the situation of 5 a.m. club. There were many people in the beginning, nearly it was in the hundreds and 200s in the beginning, in 5 a.m. club Dubai initially started. But now it has come down 50, 100 it comes. Why is it so? Might be because in the beginning, some would have come for their own goal setting, but they would have achieved it. So they would have stopped. So they would think, whenever I have find an emergency, I would come later. Or some would say, some would be like a tortoise or a slow coach. They would start, then later they would withdraw themselves. So such people are quitters. They always be pessimists. They give reason, 5 a.m., I have to get up in the morning. It is very difficult. I have so much work at home, all this, that, so and so. So giving excuses is only left with the quitters. Campers are the people who observe things. They don't take immediate decisions. They just take, okay, I will come, you go, I will come at the back of you. They say that. They just observe things, and they are like owls. They just, they would look at the situations and respond accordingly. They're very much like laggards. They wait for others to perform. And finally, if that becomes successful, then they would stick their foots into it. So this is like that. But climbers are not like that. They always would like to take up challenges. You know, I'm a 5 a.m. club member since 1 year. My mother, she motivated me, and my mother was motivated by our NLP practitioner, V. Muhammad sir. So we are into this 5 a.m. It's only because of one after the other. So one person ignited the mind to the other. That is what the generation falls. So what happens here? Today, I am able to note my goals. I'm doing my PhD. I'm doing many other things for my society as well, for my students. And how is it possible? I used to get angry. I don't value gratitude. If anybody does good thing for me, I never show my kind-heartedness to them. And also I used to sleep very late, but now I'm waking up very early. I have more self-discipline. All this gratitude is to Faisal Ibrahim and his team, because it is only the idea behind the 5 a.m. by Robin Sharma. That concept was practically provided by, the platform was created where Dubai is next neighbor to India, Dubai is next neighbor to Kerala, or whichever states you find. Next neighbor to Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore, all this. So we find Dubai is next door for us. This platform is only created due to such new normal initiative of Faisal Ibrahim and his team. And I should tell you, he has taken risk to do it. That's what we find. Today we are in this platform, it's only because of Faisal Ibrahim and his team. So he's a climber, we can say. Even if we are able to find the change in ourselves, we should always try to find that, are we a quitter or are we a camper, and how we can become a camper to a climber. So get ready for that evaluation. Next slide, please. Yes. Are you all aware about this pyramid? It's Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Are you aware of that? You can put yes or no in the chat box. Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Okay, anyway, small kids wouldn't be knowing about it, but elderly people would be knowing because it's a very prominent theory which is applicable to our day-to-day life. Abraham Harry Maslow, he introduced this concept of need hierarchy theory, giving importance for 5 levels of needs. And that is physiological needs, your basic needs, roti, kapda, makan. Your safety needs, that's what we are asking, not to step out of our house, stay home, stay safe. That is safety need, okay, or security need, we can say. The social needs, the third one, love and belongingness, getting friendship. You are always chatting during this pandemic. You are getting that is the santwanam, or you're getting the relief by others calling on you. How are you, dear? Are you recovering soon? If somebody makes a call, you're feeling love and belongingness. The social need. Esteem need. You have 100 rupees today, tomorrow you want to get 200 rupees. You feel esteem, your social prestige, self-respect, and finally the self-actualization, your desire to become the most you aspire for. Okay, so if you compare this theory with the 3 personalities, quitters always, they lie between only 2 needs. That is physiological, the basic needs, and the safety needs. They are happy with themselves. They don't want to network themselves with anybody. They're happy with that. That's all. If you take in the situation of teachers, school teachers or college teachers, my dear friends, it was a very difficult thing for the school and the college teachers to change themselves from the routine offline teaching method. Students also found it difficult initially because of range issues and Wi-Fi connections. But today, if the teachers see 1 year over, it's already 1 year over, an anniversary over for COVID pandemic's birth. But are we still following the same method of teaching, or are you following the different method? If you're following the same method of teaching by only sitting before the camera, not changing your virtual background, or not just taking the photocopies and clicking and putting in the WhatsApp group, if you're doing that method, you are just a quitter because you don't want to take up the challenge. But if you're ready for learning new things in the Zoom platform or Google Meet, then you are a camper. If you're trying to explore with a new application, come out with something equivalent to Zoom platform, or create some LMS platform, learner management system, where everybody could virtually learn, not only your students, but other students can do. Or if you're creating an e-content or a massive open online course for the world elsewhere, then it's a climber. You take risk enough to do it. This I'm talking from a teaching perspective or a trainer perspective, because I'm a teacher by profession. Next slide, please. So let's know about each of them. I think I can go a little faster because the time is very short. So climbers, they are always long aspirers. They would like to take up change. They are catalyst. What is catalyst? It's a chemistry term. Catalyst is something they would try to create always a reaction. They would like to create a corresponding action. They always try to motivate. They are very smart. They are like they always try to give motivation for others. They're possibility thinkers. If anything happens, any crisis happens, they would really make changes. They would really take decisions immediately within seconds. And that is possible only because of climbers. Because they don't blame the situation, they don't blame the society, they don't blame others. They think they have the power in them. They have the strong faith in them, and that is coming out in the form of action. So they don't give blame any for age, gender, or whatever it is. They feel that every power is in them. Okay, next slide, please. Only climbers can live up to the full. They always live up to the full. They become great achievers. When they go in the deathbed, when they are going into the graveyard, they go with fame and name, popularity. Imagine the situation of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was a bachelor in his life. You know, there was a situation. I remember particular, because I was teaching previously in St. Aloysius College, Mangalore. I had a professor who was very close to our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. When Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, when he died on that particular date, we had expressed the condolences on that particular. We had a prayer session. So he expressed this particular matter, stating that Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he always used to dedicate his life when he was a president also, he dedicated an entire life for the welfare of the people in the society. For children, his main goal was always motivating people. You could have found that when he was in the IIM Shillong, he just collapsed on the stage, the function. That's what happened. Even he had come to Loyola College, where I studied. I was a gold medalist there, BCom and MCom. When I was a student, I was inspired by his talk, because when he came for explaining about the Pura means actually there was actually poverty alleviation. We had the program initiative, and he came there for explaining about the grassroots innovation systems in Loyola College in the Bertram Hall. I still remember a few 8 to 10 years back. And he ignited the minds of youth, stating that you all try to take change. You all need to have the entrepreneurial attitude by always going for innovation. Take risk in your life. Then only you would learn what to do and what not to do. So we could really pay tribute to our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Because of him, we have learned many things. So even it was shared that when his mother passed away, in between, he did not ever take in his life any casual leave. When he was a professor and he was a scientist too, in his life, he had never taken any casual leave, CL. But he took only a leave when his mother passed away, and that too half day. You might be wondering what crazy it is, but it was his attitude. It was his gratitude for us. He found that duty is work. Work is worship. Duty is God. He was working day to day, day and night, and he was toiling for doing his 100%. So that is what the attitude of a climber. So there are many other lively examples like that in and around us. Even your parents must be the example too. You are here today, it is only because of our parents, our ancestors. We should always feel gratitude for that. Okay? You might all be sitting at home, enjoying the fruits, mangoes, bananas, jackfruits, everything. How is it possible? It's only because of your great grandfathers who had eaten the mango and thrown the seed. It is only because of that. You're paying tribute to them because they were foresighting that in future something good would happen. And if that happens in my absence, let my children, grandchildren eat it. But ask yourself, is this generation, current generation, thinking about that? They just want to utilize that resources and exploit it completely. Not at all sustainable, not at all judicious about their future. What we have to understand, the moral of the story is, we need to evaluate ourselves. We need to know where we are. We need to, you need to try to understand what is your limitation and try to overcome that. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so these climbers, they try to feel that every small penny or every dividend, what they get, they try to save it for the better future. They give recognition for each and every activity. Next is about the campers. So campers, they go a little far off, but they go up only to a limit. They always try to draw a Lakshman Rekha. They don't go beyond that. They always have some limitations here, limits and limitations. Okay, not because they are very afraid or something, but they feel that this is enough for me. I feel this is enough. So they reach only partial success. They always go for compromise in their life. Okay, they dedicate an energy for everything, for helping the society and so, but they give importance for their status quo, meaning to say their prestige. Okay, next. So they go, sometimes they always have doubts on their life, or they feel lonely. Many of them at home today in this COVID pandemic, we are also feeling lonely, isn't it? And why is it so? because you are a camper. You feel that. Then you also feel that you question their struggle. Why this is happening? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do this? Like this, you question. It's because of the camper behavior. Next. Next is about the quitter. They always try to, they ignore everything. They are not at all bothered about anything. They are always out of fear. They try to quit. They try to always procrastinate things. They don't want to take any risk in their life. They always try to find some excuses, reasons behind their non-actions. Next. Quitter's language. If you ask a quitter, see, if you want to know your neighbor is a quitter or you are a quitter, before assessing your neighbor, always assess yourself first. If you are a quitter, ask yourself whether you have these language words. Can't, won't, impossible. Well, I tried, but it's not fair. This is stupid, ridiculous. Always negative terms. I'm too old to do that. If somebody asks, some professor asks somebody, you come and learn about this new technology. Oh, I'm very old. I'm 60 plus. What to learn in this age? It's a quitter attitude. Always excuses. Next, please. So this is the tree of success. If you see a tree, it's a symbolic message. If you see a tree, the root and the branch, the stem part, if you see the trunk part, it shows a character, intelligence, and the health aspect. Okay. And if you see the branches, it can be the talent and desire. And if you see the leaves, the fruits, flowers, and so on, so it is only the product of your performance. Okay. Next slide. So let's start the questionnaire. I want you all to, I'll take only 10 minutes. Okay. So kindly, I request you all to have a sheet of paper and a pen with you. Okay. Be very careful. There are 20 questions here. There are 20 questions, and I'll read the question. Don't go in a hurry. Read the question, and I'll make you understand. 1 is not at all. 1 is the least, and 5 is the ultimate, the final one. So if you find that you fall 1, you write 1. For the first question, you make 2 columns, question numbers and your grade, your number, okay, your points. So if you give the first question, if you give 1, okay, write 1. If you give the second question number 2, if you give 2, write that. Okay, so I'll just explain to you. And why? Because if you write this, later you have to total it up and find the product. So you have to be very careful. I hope you are it's very clear to you. So first question, you suffer a financial setback. So you suffer, that is a financial setback. What do you mean by that? Meaning to say, like you had you always feel about the that is some sort of inconvenience or a difficulty that you are the only person who required to always keep the finance, and you always have that burden. You feel the financial burden. To what extent you try to influence this situation? To what extent would you like to face the situation? You try to ignore it completely, then go for 1. Okay, I will do something. Then you go for 2. I don't know what I'll do. Not that also, not this. I don't know what I'm not answerable. If you see that, you say 3. If you say, okay, you need not chat it here. You need not put it in the chat box. You can put it in the paper because it's confidential. I don't want you to explain it to other people. It's confidential because you should know yourself and you should know how to improve yourself. Okay. So fourth, if you're putting number 4, okay, I'm ready partially for the change. If you're telling, I want to completely, face the situation with challenge, then you go for 5. Okay, so you can write it in the sheet of paper there. Okay, so everybody write it in the sheet of paper. I hope the first question is very clear. Second question, you are overlooked for a promotion. So it's a workplace. You see, you have to put your imagination here. You are in a workplace and you are ready to work. You're working so much in this pandemic. You are also aiming for a promotion. So you are overlooking for a promotion. If you say that, yes, I want a change in my profession and everything, then you go for 5. If you say, okay, I'm ready for, according to my situation and my work, then okay, ready, 4. If you say, I don't know what I want to do, according to situation, I will take up accordingly. If you say that, I go for 3. If you say, no, I don't want, I'll see it later. If you say like that, I don't want promotion now. If you say like that, go for 2. If you say 1, I don't want, some people are there who don't want promotion at all. They want to be, they joined as a clerk, they want to retire as a clerk. So if you're like that, go for 1. I hope the first and second questions are very clear. I hope we can go with the third one. Next slide, please. The third one is you're criticized for a big project that you just completed. See, you had a great, you had a great hope for doing a project. You did it, but many people criticized it. So what will be the consequence of the situation? You think that I'm not going to do anything anymore because all people are worst. You're blaming others. You don't find the fault in you. If you're like that, you go for 1. From that, if you have that, say you're going for 5. Okay. The fourth one is you accidentally delete an important email. You received an email and you say that by unknowingly, not intentionally, unintentionally, you deleted the email. So if you find that, why, no problem. If it is deleted, it will be there. It will be there in the trash box. I'll go and search. So that shows you will go for 5. But if you say that, oh my God, I don't know what to do, I should call, what I should do, you're completely tensed. Okay, if you're in that situation, my job is gone, everything, you think about negatives, then you go for 1. If you're in the meanwhile 2, 3, 4, then go for it. Next is the high priority project. You are working, gets cancelled. You have been giving more importance for a project. You got a project, bumper hit, but immediately, during this COVID time, before pandemic, many people would have got different projects, but now it's got cancelled. So what happens in this situation? What will you do? You'll think that, oh my God, I'm unlucky. It is written on my forehead. My fate is like that. If you feel that way, if you're blaming yourself, then go for 1. If you think that it's because of situation, accepting the situation, COVID pandemic has come. Why? What is going to happen? After 2 years, I will do it. That's all. If you have that bindas attitude and not bindas, if you try to take it positive and tell, I will do it next time, like that, then you go for 5. Next one, 6th one. Someone you respect, someone you are respecting, ignores your attempt to discuss an important issue. So you are respecting somebody and that person gives least bothering for you, does not give attention to you. Okay, is not ready to, he tries to ignore you for discussing about an important issue. Something has happened in your office and you are respecting your boss, that boss is least bothered to listen to you. What would you do in the situation? So to what extent would you feel responsible for improving situation? In such case, you know that that person wouldn't listen. So will you go for, you will act as a boss in that situation and you go for change, or you will wait for that boss to reply? If you wait for the boss to reply, go for 1. If you say that I will, okay, tomorrow this is the boss for today. Tomorrow I'll become a boss. I will. So you think that tomorrow that day has come today itself, and you go for the change. So then you go for 5. Next one. People respond unfavorably to your latest ideas. So you have an idea, but people are not favoring you. In such a situation, what will you do? To what extent you will influence the situation? Everything is from your perspective. So will you go for ignoring it completely? Your idea, waste. You think your idea is also waste, you ignore it. Then you go for 1. If you feel that your idea, you will keep it for some time and you take it as a challenge and show, I am the change, like that, go for 5. I'm telling the 2 extremes. Okay. So you can decide which one you want. Next, you are unable to take a much needed vacation. You thought of going to Europe or Germany, Switzerland, or any other country. And this is not possible because of COVID pandemic. Everything try to relate this to COVID pandemic. So what will be consequence? Do you think that lasts forever? Now you're gone. Now I can't go to Switzerland. You feel like that, disappointed? You'll sit like that. You'll not thinking about that, like that you'll be sitting, or you will think, no issue. After 1 or 2 years, we'll go. Think about that proactively, you will think. Then you go for 5. I hope it is very clear. Next one. 9th one, you hit every red light on your way to an important appointment. Meaning to say, that is, wherever required the pause, red light means it's a stop. So wherever required the stop, you try to, whenever important appointments are there, you try to pause in your life. Would you like to pause and wait and watch and everything is happening? Okay, thinking that, so what will be the situation? That is, you think that it's going to affect you the entire life, or you say that according to situation, I will change, I'll be a reactive change agent there. 10th one, after extensive searching, you cannot find an important document. You have been searching for the document in your mail, but what happened? Everything is lost. You find that it's lost somewhere, but you think that, oh, you're gone, and now I'll get firing, my job will go, like that you have the feeling, then go for 1. Fear. If you feel that no problem, this is one gone now, another copy, I have it in my desktop, I will take that. If you think the next way in a positive manner, go for 5. Next one. 11, your workplace is understaffed. Your workplace is understaffed, meaning to say that is, you have a situation where in your workplace, workplace, you feel that people are not up to your expectation. The people is very less, because in COVID pandemic, you can find the number of people is also very less. So in such a situation, how will you tackle? Will you try to say that, I will wait for till that other person would come, or you say that you try to rotate the job with the existing people? Imagine about the bankers today, banking situation. People are in rotation. Not everybody could come because of social distancing policy. So this situation arises. 12th one, you miss an important appointment. You have an appointment, but you miss it. Then what happens? You have doctor's appointment or a meeting with your vice chancellor. Then what would be that? If you miss, you think that, oh my God, everything gone. 1, or if you find that no problem, next meeting I'll attend it proactively, then go for 5. Next one. The 13th one, that is, your personal and work obligations are out of balance. So you are doing personally your work and your obligation, your liability, many things are there, duties are there, but it's out of balance, meaning to say you are not able to manage yourself. In such a situation, what will you do? Will you collapse yourself? Oh my God, I'm the only one. Will you complain? I'm the only one to do. I don't have anybody to help. Like that, you blame yourself. Excuses. 1. If you're telling, no problem, it's just a matter of seconds, I can manage it, go for 5. Next, 14. You never seem to have enough money. This we have in the money affirmations in our 5 AM Club Dubai, also in India. We say that when you say that you don't have enough money, then the money won't come. But if you say that money is, even though you are weak, or financially not enough, then you find that I'm enough. If you say, then money automatically comes. It's all the mind factor. So if you say that I don't have enough money and I'm waste, I'm a poor man, you people are great, rich, like that, if you try to compare yourself with others, then you're 1. If you say that see, today I have only 2 rupees, tomorrow I'll make it 20 rupees. If you have that challenge in a ethically way, if you do, you are go for 5. Next, 15th question. You're not exercising regularly, though you know you should. You are having block. You have done 5 to 10 angioblast surgery. Even after knowing this, you go for drinks, or you go for smoking, or you go for eating oily and other sorts of things. If you think that you're unhealthy, you know it, even after that, you take a risk. Is it good? You should ask yourself. If you say in such a situation, not at all, I'm not at all worried about that, then go for 1. If you say that I'm very much worried and I should do something for my health, then you go for 5. Next. 16th one, your organization is not meeting its goals. You find that you're a boss and your people, subordinates, are not doing up to the mark. So what will you do? Will you go for motivating them? Will you try to, will you make them work overnight or something and give additional bonus or something? Go for 5. Motivate them. Or you just go for firing them, you're fit for nothing, like that, then go for 1. 17th one, your computer crashed for the 3rd time this week. Some virus has affected. So will you go for putting the computer in the dustbin, hitting it, firing it, smashing it? Will you go because computer is a non-living thing. If you show your anger on the computer by throwing and dancing on it, then you go for 1. If you say that you will try to complete and you try to recover it by giving it for people, spending little more money for recovering that files, then you go for 5. Next one. We're coming to the last slide. That so the meeting you are in is a total waste of time. You are attending a meeting there, and you feel that it's a waste of time. So if you think that way, then what will you do? You just wait there, blaming and saying that it's a waste of time. I don't want. Just I'll sit like that. I'm here just for my attendance. If you're saying that, it's a 1. If you say that 5, you go there, ask when the meeting is going to start. Meanwhile, if the before the meeting starts, you don't want to waste time, you do some other job meanwhile. If you're like that, then you think that you are in a 5. Next, you lost something that is important to you. It can be your parents, it can be your family members, friends, or it can be your important documents, files, and so on, so like that. Then you lost something that is important to you. If it is like that, you just go on thinking, for example, if my friend passed away, I would have also gone along with him. I want to commit suicide. I want to be happy with him in the heaven. If you say that way, then you go for 1. If you say that gone is gone, now we have to take care of ourselves, like that, if you are thinking about the next factor, then what should be done next? If you're thinking about that, go for 5. In the last 20th one, your boss adamantly disagrees your decision. You have the decision, but you have told it to your boss, but the boss is very in angry mood. He depends upon his mood and emotion. He's saying, I disagree with you completely. I'm not going to. He's very adamant. Will you go to influence him? Will you try to make him understand, persuade him, convince him? Then you go for 5. Okay. If you're going to fight with him for something, your rights and whatever it is, go for 1. But that 1 is going to be worst situation. Okay. I hope everybody has completed the 1 to 20. Everything is done. Okay. Now I will tell you how to do. Go to next slide, please. So the scoring instruction is like this. C stands for control, O stands for ownership, R stands for reach, and E stands for endurance. So these questions, 1, please note it, write in a paper. C, in that 1, first question, 7th question, 13th, 15th, and 17th. These 5 questions, whatever number you have given, if it is 1 or 2, for example, for first question you have given 2, for the 7th question you have given 5, then 2 plus 5 plus 3 plus, like that, you can add up. Find the total for C, find the total for O, E, R, and E. Like that, you find individual score, total. I hope it is very clear. First, you total for each, C, O, R, E. Total it and find how much you're getting. Don't share it in the chat box. It is for your confidentiality. If it is done, please say yes. Is it okay? Can I proceed next? CORE. If anybody has lost connection in between and you have not been able to do, no problem. You can contact me personally and get it cleared. Okay. So don't worry about this particular Ignite session. You can contact me personally because this is part of my PhD work. So that is why I'm evaluating it for yourself. Yes. So C is core. So add up 1 plus 7 plus 13 plus 15 plus 17. Or you add all the question numbers, you add the whatever grade you have given, all you add CORE. Did you find the score for CORE separately? Yes, CORE separately you have found. Okay, if you have found, now add up COR. If you got for C, example 50, then O 55, then R 60, then E 70. So 50 plus 55 plus 60 plus 70. Add them 4. Just add them. First you find individual CORE. Then you add up all C plus O plus R plus E. You keep it. Then you multiply into 2. Adya ma'am, core means C for control, O for ownership, R for reach, and E for endurance. We have already seen that factors in the beginning. So these questions, first question, 7th question, 13th, 15th, and 17th, shows the control factors. Ownership factors, 2nd, 6th, 11th, 16th, and 18th question shows ownership factors. Like that, different question shows different factors. So if you add up these questions, weight, what you have given, you add up and you find the individual weight of the CORE. Add up all C plus O plus R plus E. 4 you add. Then you get that figure into 2. Into 2. 2 is nothing but the weight that Paul Stoltz has given in his study. Don't ask me why, because it's his study. So I hope everybody would have got the score. Okay. Right? Can I proceed to next slide? If yes, please type yes in the chat box. I hope you would have got, for example, 50 plus 55, 105. 105 plus 60, 165. 165 plus 70, you should have got 235. Example, it's just an example. 235. 235 into 2, you should have gone about, it should have come to 470 something, right? But that much wouldn't come. It can't come. Just an example I said. Okay, so that you keep the figure. Now I'm going to say what personality you are. Are you ready? So you might be feeling goosebumps to see yourself. Let's see. Yes, next slide. So this is the normal distribution curve we have. Okay, so in the symmetrical curve, you can find that if your score is 0 to 59, if you find that your score is from 0 to 59, you are a quitter. That means you have a low AQ, adversity quotient. So what is the advice I would like to give is, if you are a quitter, kindly know your limitations. Kindly transform yourself by joining into 5 AM Club Dubai or some other, whatever you feel like. Some people, they do by learning. Some people, they do things by reading books. Whatever motivation you get, feel self-motivated and self-elevated. Do meditation, do yoga, do listen to music, dance therapy, laughter therapy. All these things can improve the boost creativity and innovation in you. So quitter to camper. If you ask me, can a person move from quitter to climber? Is it possible? My dear friend, it's not possible, because it's like Maslow's theory, one after the other. So if you want to become a quitter, you have to, if you're a quitter, you have to go from quitter to camper, then from camper to climber. It's like asking me from first standard, can I go to sixth standard? It's not possible. If you know first standard, then you should learn second, third, because different experiences, different knowledge. Next, if you're lying in between 95 to 134 range, then you are a camper. And if you have a high IQ, which shows 166 to 200, you are a climber. That means you are a great personality. You are a change. Like Mahatma Gandhi, if you ask, can you say Mahatma Gandhi falls into which category? Anybody? Like you can ask yourself different personalities. Mahatma Gandhi falls into which category? Is it quitter, camper, or climber? Can you type in the chat box, please? Please chat it, please put it in the chat box. Okay, Sunil sir says climber. Very good. Sandeep, climber. Shiba Gopi ma'am, climber. Very nice, because he was a climber, and you can find this attitude in him when he went for Dandi March, when he went for Quit India movement. So there are different situations we can take, okay, where people, so it is like a situational leadership. Situations make people leaders, and that is what proved here. So we can prove the statement here. Leaders are not born, they are made. Talent is not by nature, but by nurture. So if you find that Mr. X is an entrepreneur, his son wouldn't be an entrepreneur. He can be something else. He can be a doctor, but don't force your child to do that. You should be a doctor. No, then he collapses. So he reaches nowhere. So that is what. So I believe that all would have evaluated yourself and known what personality you are. Right? Let's go to next slide. Thank you for compromising with me for doing such evaluation. Okay. Now increase AQ with lead sequence. This is the last slide. So to conclude, what is needed? To put in a summary, what is needed to have IQ, to have higher AQ? If you have a higher AQ, that means you have higher IQ, you have higher EQ, you have higher SQ, you have higher CQ too. CQ is creativity quotient. Much studies are being done currently in CQ area too. Okay, so first of all, listen to your response to the adversity, meaning to say, whenever you get any situation, accept the change, accept the reality, and go for a change. Take up the risk in your life. Convert the challenges into opportunity. Always be assertive. Say yes for where yes is needed. Say no for where you don't need to say yes. Be assertive. Don't be aggressive. Next one, E. Explore all the origins and ownership of the result. Before you take decisions, just think, if you take this decision today, after 10 years, what would be your position? If you're going to make illegally 2 lakhs rupees today, now this moment you might be very happy and that you have made money, become a multimillionaire. But think after 10 years, what would happen? After 5 years, you might be very safe, but after 10 years, some global giant would come who would invade your case, and you would be really ending up nowhere. You'll become a slum dog. So you should know that. What decision you take. So you should always forecast whenever you take decisions, what is going to happen next. Don't take lame blame decisions. Analyze the evidences. Whatever decisions you're taking, be more analytical. Don't be so much theoretical or comprehensive about your decisions. Be more analytical. Have qualitative decisions. And finally, do something. Don't make yourself sit idle. Always take up new initiatives, responsibilities. Such readiness to change, such accepting that reality attitude can really bring sparkles to your life. So with this, thank you. Next slide, please. So thank you everyone for giving me such an opportunity. I feel that really you all would have been ignited. Okay, so thank you so much. God bless you all, and stay home, stay safe, and keep others safe too. Bye.
Okay. Excellent session.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Super.
Tushar, keep it up. Excellent. Fantastic. It was mind blowing, and it was fantastic. And so many things learned, and I know so many things. Still, it was reminding me and recollecting me, and I'm already climber status. And good, you have given so many points very professionally. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And if you are very much interested, everyone, you can specify your personality. Doesn't matter if you are very much interested. And can I know who spoke? Because spotlight is on me. I'm not able to see the person who is speaking to me. So can I see who is that,
Okay.
sir, who spoke just now? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Yeah.
First slide, umbrella for the corona. That is excellent. I need the picture of that.
Thank you. It's all God's blessings. Here it is heavily raining. Although it's raining, I took it as a challenge that I will face this as an opportunity. That is why today it has come successfully. Abhay, I feel that you are very much convinced with my class and everything is perfect to your knowledge.
Wonderful, Sir Tushar. We have received one more international speaker. Thank you. It was super presentation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
As a trainer, I was looking your posture, gesture, your vocabulary, everything was fantastic, super. And regarding the topic, I have heard about IQ and EQ, and I have heard about AQ, but not that much. You have given a very deep insight about that thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Shiba ma'am, it's because of you that the slides are shown, because I had some issues in connection. That is why I have gratitude, loads of gratitude to you. Because of you only the slide sharing is done. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. It's my
Tushar,
pleasure.
can you share your number? Please share your number also.
Yeah, I will share, sir.
You put in chat.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Tushar, for that wonderful topic. Excellent session. What are you trying to read like that? Look straight.
No, I'm typing in the chat box, that's why.
Okay, awesome session, awesome. Please go ahead with the feedback.
Okay, let me say something. Tushar, oh, what a fantastic session. Actually, truly speaking, I was flabbergasted. I never expected such a wonderful presentation from you. You wanted everybody. Okay, this AQ, truly speaking, I heard about it. I'm getting it very clearly from you today. Rocking performance, and each slide was excellent, and you described it wisely. The questionnaire and everything. You participated, every participant present here. It was really amazing. Thank you very much. Today is blessed with your performance and this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil sir. Thank you for golden words from you, sir. And I should thank all the participants for sticking on this. I don't know whether it has mesmerized you, but anyway, you all are just stay tuned there. Thank you so much for your lovely presence here. Thank you.
Tushar, this is Manimaran. Actually, I'm a working
Hi, sir.
person. Generally, we know about this IQ, EQ, and SQ only. Today is the first time I am hearing about this AQ, but it was a fantastic one. And in fact, I'm able to understand where is my personality.
Great.
So it's an excellent one. Can I already taken the screen print of this.
Yeah, you don't worry, sir. Are you there in that 5 AM Club Dubai, that group, right? I can share it in the group too.
Okay, I am planning to share this with my team also.
Okay.
Is that okay, na? No problem, na?
Yeah, no issues.
But and one more thing is, from the first slide till last slide, you mesmerized us, and the energy, the way in which you explained, na, fantastic. We need to learn a lot from you. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir.
Great job.
Thank you, sir. So it's only because of your 100% effort you have put that you have got your result, actually. So knowing that, actually, I think you can also focus more on your strength and weaknesses, and you can try to improve yourself.
Sure, definitely. In fact, I got a score of 170.
Oh, wonderful.
No, but 170 to 200, there is big gap also, na?
Are you a climber, sir?
Climber only. But 170 to 200 to reach it, I need to do a lot.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let me see. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Tushar, it is an amazing.
Hi, Adya ma'am.
I was really in a world. It is just like flowing, and your presentation, it is awesome. And the topic you have selected, because while last year I was taking a class in multiple intelligence, I have gone through the word AQ. You tried to put about something about AQ in my slide, but I was not able to explain it very well. That's why slowly I quit AQ and got till CQ, because AQ is an important quotient in multiple intelligence, but I was not able to find out the correct way how to express what is AQ. That's why. So today you have cleared it very well, and now I am confident about myself. I know what is AQ and how to present the AQ to others. Okay, thank you, Tushar. It is a very wonderful and awesome, fantastic presentation, and the topic is the relevant to the situation now. Thank you, Tushar. Thank you.
Thank you, Adya ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Really motivating words.
Tushar, yeah, here I am, Sheba.
Hi, ma'am. Tell me.
Audible now? It's a great.
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, we sat like anything. And this is, as Adya said, it's a great subject. Of course, we have come across the other intelligence. This is